I really wanted to eat things, but I wasn't hungry. It was as if my body was saying, eat, 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 go back to the old habits quickly, but I'm not hungry. It was the weirdest. Hello gorgeous, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. And in this one I'm going to be talking about, well, my gastric bypass surgery. Again, it's been a while. It's been over 2 years since I had that procedure now. And this is a list of things I wish I had known before I had that procedure. And I'm hoping it'll help you if you're thinking about having this procedure for yourself. So let's get straight into it. So 2 years ago, I looked like this. I was 280 pounds heavier than I am now. I was huge. I have lost a ton of weight, but I had to have surgery to get that done. I tried and tried and tried to lose weight the natural way, and I use that phrase with some reservation. I tried everything. I tried all the traditional weight loss methods. Didn't get anywhere. Didn't work for me. I was very, very depressed about it all. As you know, if you've been watching this channel from the start, you'll know what I was trying to do. Didn't get anywhere, and I decided I needed to change the rules and find something that worked for me. And I discovered a procedure called the Mini Gastric Bypass, which I had with Dr. Chris de Burn in Belgium. As an aside, if you are interested in having that procedure with Dr. de Burn in Belgium, you can drop me a line on Instagram or Facebook because I help people go through that procedure for themselves. Anywho, I digress. It was an amazing procedure and it seemed like it was the perfect procedure for me, which helped with appetite control, it helped with how much food I absorbed, and I was just a really good candidate. So I went and had that procedure. However, there are many things I wish I had learned or considered before having that procedure. And in this video, I'm going to be covering those very things. So let's get on with it. First thing, I should have had this procedure. I should have done something about this long ago. I didn't because I'd had a gastric band, which I thought was the perfect choice for me. Turns out it wasn't. I made a huge mistake. Gastric bands, it turns out, aren't actually very good for most people. But I thought, oh, well, I've had surgery now. That didn't work. And so I went back to the drawing board. Turns out different procedures give different people different results. And that's the reality of it. I wish I had had this surgery 10 or 20 years ago instead of waiting until I was nearly 50 and wasting a huge amount of my life being morbidly obese. The next thing I wish I'd known, and it would have been really useful for me to have known this at the time of the procedure, I was very, very anxious before going into theatre. What if it doesn't work? How long will I be in pain? I didn't know any of this stuff, and it's hard sometimes to trust the clinics, especially after I'd had a procedure which wasn't very good in another clinic, the gastric band, and so I didn't have a lot of trust left. However, what I wish I had known then was just how quick and easy this procedure was going to be. Within a couple of days, I was pretty much right as rain. The first week I was feeling a bit bloated and uncomfortable, but the pain was over extremely quickly. And certainly in my case with the mini bypass, I was more or less back to normal within a few weeks. I was tired and I was suffering from the lack of food for a while because it takes a while to adjust. But I felt pretty damn good very quickly. The other side of that coin, those early couple of days suck. I can remember lying in hospital thinking, what have I done to myself? I will never have any surgery ever again. I was wrong. Not long after that, I was having a surgery a month, as you may recall from this very channel. I filmed it all with the weight loss and the skin removal and all sorts of other things. But at the time, the dehydration and the hunger, oh man, I really struggled to cope with those 24, 48 hours right after surgery. They are brutal, but they pass. But at the time, wow, those initial couple of days, worse than I thought. The follow-on days, better than I thought. Would have been good to know that up front. Then, as a result, possibly a byproduct of the dehydration, I don't know, I really wanted to eat things, but I wasn't hungry. It was as if my body was saying, eat, 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 go back to the old habits quickly, but I'm not hungry. It was the weirdest sensation, especially in that first week. It's a very odd frame of mind to be in. You want to eat, but you're not hungry. I don't know how else to put it. It's an odd place to be. But I also learned, expect anything right at the start, because your body has changed dramatically. Your digestive system is very, very different now. Then, going back to the tiredness, I felt kind of weary for the first few weeks quite a lot. Then I sort of felt great, but not bouncing as such. And I thought thought I wasn't going to suffer from hair loss, and then the hair loss started about 8 months to a year later, as I recall, and my hair became very, very fine. So I think my body started to lose hair because of the malnutrition, because it had taken a long time to rebalance until it stabilized. But then when that did stabilize, it was amazing. I was absolutely loaded and full of energy. So that was really good. I use theme parks as my benchmark. I love going to Walt Disney World. I love going to, Universal Studios and the theme parks. And at my biggest, I would really struggle. I'd get a few hours around the parks and I was done. I was spent. I just wanted to sleep. Whereas now suddenly I can go all day long. I can walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and do rides and do everything. Amazing. So that's a big change. A big fear that I had before this procedure was what would I be able to eat afterwards? And I know a lot of people who have had the Roux-en-Y bypass say it really, really changed how they could eat. There was so much food was now off limits. Cheeses and dairy and pizza and all the food that I loved was apparently not going to be an option anymore. Not the case, it turns out. One of the benefits of the mini gastric bypass is that for a lot of people, and don't take this as a guarantee, but for a lot of people, you can still eat more or less anything you want, just not as much. Now, if I sit down and eat a big bar of chocolate, a family bar, I'm going to be sick. But I was probably kind of ill from that before. But I can nibble at some chocolate now with no adverse effects. I can eat breakfast cereal, I can eat dairy. Sometimes it makes me feel a little bit gripey, a bit heavy, but I've switched to almond milk. Don't feel a thing. I can eat breakfast cereals, I can eat fairly fatty foods. You have to be careful, but your body does adapt and get on with things. Weight loss. Let's get to the big one here. Weight loss is now so easy, it almost feels like a cheat. I lose weight really quickly now. Almost anything I can lose weight. It's brilliant though, because it means I can have a couple of a month where it's bad and I don't lose anything, and then I can turn it on, I can hit the gym hard, I can do some exercise, I can just be really mindful about what I eat, and the weight flies off. I went to Thailand a couple of months ago. I lost a stone in Thailand. Admittedly, I spent a few days not eating anything because I was having surgery, but it's so easy to turn on the weight loss button now. The dieting is brilliant. And if you are like me and you're a yo-yo dieter, whereas before what would happen is this: gain, lose, gain, lose, gain, lose. You lose 3 stone and you put it back on again. You lose 3 stone, you put it back on again. Now what happens is this: you lose weight, you'll plateau. You lose weight, you'll plateau. And it keeps going down. Now I've been told that apparently at some point that will creep back up a little bit, but I've also been told that if you keep up in the gym and you keep up the exercise and you do all the good stuff, it might not. And in my case, it hasn't. I've got a few months where I've gained a few pounds. Usually right after going to America and eating all the food, I'll put a few pounds on. But then I can come back again and bang, I can lose 6. It no longer goes up and down and stays the same. It averages down month after month. And that's great. That is absolutely amazing. My outer view on life has changed. I think about the future now, which I didn't before. I think about growing my business. I think about projects, which I thought there's no point even doing those. I'm probably going to be dead before I get to see the fruit of that. Now I'm thinking of ideas. I've got a Kickstarter I'm about to start. I've got some projects lined up. I'm thinking years down the road now because my life has changed. I'm far more likely to be here than I was when I was massively overweight. And also, and this is a really weird one and a little bit of an unpleasant one, I now look at other people who are really overweight. They're like, oh, and I feel disgusted, but not at them. I feel disgusted that I also used to be massively overweight, and I'm disgusted at myself. I wish everybody who wanted to lose weight could lose weight and find what works for them. And that's why I keep doing these videos, and this is why I keep doing, if you really want to lose weight, don't give up. Find a solution that works for you, because that's the best. It's the best thing. You know, although my final point with that in mind is it creates a whole new different things I have to think about now. I have to have new clothes. Every couple of months I've had to buy a new wardrobe because I've lost so much weight consistently over the last few months that I keep getting clothes which are too big for me. This is now a medium. I am no longer XXXXL, XLL, XLX. Anywho, that is it. That is my list of things I wish I had known. I'm still relearning. Having lost a lot of weight, had a mini gastric bypass. Was this useful to you? Was there something that, have you lost a lot of weight? Is there anything you want to share? Leave them in the comments below. As always, if you like this sort of content, you want to know more about what I do and what I post, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give that alarm bell a little tinkle tinkle. And I shall see you in the very next show. And popping up over there is the last show I put out, and below that is the one YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the very next show. Bye.